Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at Hisuian Arcanine with Froslass Munkidori. This is an attacker that I've had on my radar for, well, it's been over a year actually, before I even started this channel. And I'll be honest, I forgot about the card. It was obviously on my mind because I did want to play it in a Froslass Munkidori deck. And yeah, I just forgot about this card. And that's no disrespect to the card, but yeah, this is one of those cards that, you know, it does, you do forget about it, but at the same time, you know, once you remember it, you're like, oh yeah, and then you start making your own deck list, and it's been quite fun to make this deck list. So before we go any further, as per normal, in the description below there's going to be usual links to the timestamps. There'll be the deck list, which is also available to copy in the description below. There'll be the games that we'll play, and the outro and what I think of the deck. So, the whole point of this deck is we're going to be using Hisuian Arcanine, not Hisuian, as For the Win TCG said it a while back, but no, it's Hisuian, as I would say it. So, the main focus is not going to be the second attack, Searing Flame, but the first attack, Proud Fangs. If your bench Pokemon have any damage counters on them, this attack does 90 more damage. So what that essentially means is we can attack for free, because that's what this little icon here means, a bit like Budew, for 120 damage. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, and obviously against fighting resistance decks, that definitely isn't a lot. But the whole point of this is that we're getting a consistent attacker that doesn't need energy to attack, and most importantly, is a single prizer. Now of course, it is a 2 retreat cost, so if we do get stuck in the active with it, and we don't have any damage counters on our bench, that could get ugly. But obviously, the main problem with this deck is the Hisuian Growlithe. Now there used to be a 70 HP one in the format, I know that much. But unfortunately, well, there isn't one anymore. So, yeah, we have to play Trolley, essentially. That's not a bad thing for this deck, because it does mean we get to play Jacq in this list. But obviously we do have the option to use Blazing Destruction for a 0 energy cost and discard a stadium. So if we have something that could potentially disrupt us, that could be something we use. But otherwise, it's a traditional Froslass Munkidori. We're playing a 3-3 line of the Froslass and 3 Munkidoris. We also have 1 Budew in here just for the early game if we're whiffing on our Growlithes and or the Trolley. And of course, for the late game, as per normal with a Froslass Munkidori deck, we're playing the bear. Now of course, there's a high chance, given how my luck has been with the bear recently, we're probably going to start him, and we don't really have a way of getting him out of the active. So, hopefully we don't, but, well, that's PTCG Live for you. But yeah, let's go to the deck list, and let's have a look. And welcome to the deck list. So, as you can see, we obviously are basically using a Froslass Munkidori package, but obviously we're having to squeeze in a 4-4 line of the Hisuian Arcanine line. Now, of course, this is only missing a couple of things from a traditional Froslass Munkidori list. It's missing a Penny / Turo, which I think this list could use. And of course, we are playing slightly lower draw, because obviously we don't have 3 copies of Lillie's Determination, we only have 2. But we are playing still 4 Iono, so we at least have that. So, let's get over it. So let's get to the deck list, I should say. We have 4 Hisuian Growlithe, 4 Hisuian Arcanine, 3 Snorunt, 3 Froslass, 3 Munkidoris, 1 Bloodmoon Ursaluna, and of course 1 Budew. Then we're playing 4 Iono, 3 Arven, 2 Lillies, 2 Jacq, 1 Boss's Orders. We are playing a low count of Gust in this deck, so obviously we do need to fit a 4-4 line at the very least. So the Gust count is low, but I did want a searchable one off of Pokégear, and of course a Counter Catcher. Plus, a boss on a Fez with the Hisuian Arcanine can knock it out. It does do 120. And obviously, times 2 for weakness, it does do 240. So we can at least deal with that. Then, of course, 3 Ultra Ball, 2 Night Stretcher, 2 Nest Ball, 2 Pokégear, 1 Counter Catcher, 1 Buddy Poffin, 1 Switch in case we start the Bloody Bear, which seems to happen a lot, 1 Earthen Vessel, 1 Super Rod, 1 Precious Trolley, 2 top copies of Bravery Charm, these are for the Munkidoris, and also the Budew. 2 copies of TM Devo. Obviously, if we can get Froslass Munkidori engine going plus the Arcanine, we can potentially Devo our opponent's board. We don't have to just continuously attack with Proud Fangs. Then, of course, we have the Air Balloon, the 2 copies of Artisan, 5 Basic Dark, and 2 Luminous Energy. You could obviously play like Prism Energy in here. You don't really need to attack with Froslass in this list. You could. Obviously, Luminous can also matter if we have to use Takedown. You never know, we might have to. But obviously, Luminous does not stack, so there's going to be no Searing Flame in this video, unfortunately. But you never know, I might treat you all to a Frost Smash later, but we'll see what happens with that regard. But obviously, this is a deck that I think, you know, it's trying to do a lot. And it is a little bit less consistent than a standard Froslass Munkidori deck. Obviously, we're only playing one Budew as opposed to 2 or 3. And of course, we don't play a Penny or a Poro or anything like that. So if we start the bear, we only have the Switch, which obviously we don't really want to be using the Switch. We want to be using Trolley going second. So, you know, we have a few downsides compared to a regular list. But at least we have an attacker that can just constantly go attacking for 120 potentially and do some work. But anyway, let's get some games. See how we do. And welcome to the first game. I'm looking forward to seeing how this deck does. Mega Dragonite Z. Okay, sure. Last I checked, it doesn't have a Z or a Y or whatever, but then again, it does have one in ZA Legends, which that game actually looks pretty solid, I must admit. It does actually look pretty good. But I've not played it, like I've seen the gameplay and stuff like that. It feels very much nostalgic, is what I'll say. And we get a mulligan. It is Dragapult. Okay, we're going to have to rely on Devo in this matchup. That is fine. We're going to attach Luminous for turn anyway. Get a Artisan down for a Hisuian Arcanine. Well, for a Growlithe. To be fair, like, it doesn't really matter what we go for. Our starting hand is not great. We do have the Jacq at the very least, but we also get a mulligan, which that's not useful. They have Munkidoris as well. Okay, that could be an issue. Is this straight pull or is it Dragon Dusk is my main concern. Straight away with a Luminous attachment on the Munkidori. And straight away retreating the Dreepy. Fair enough. Fair enough. So we're going to do that. We're going to have to put down the Artisan for our opponent, but that's fine. I'm going to grab a Growlithe. We could free retreat it into the Growlithe. Well, we could free retreat into the... Well, retreat off with the Growlithe and then discard the stadium, but I don't think it's worth it. For now, we'll just pass. Not after a great start, but, well, that's what happens sometimes. We just don't have what we need. It's not the end of the world, though. Obviously, Hisuian Arcanine will only be doing 30 damage right now, so that's something to consider. But still, let's see what happens. Obviously, they can Artisan and get some value off of that. Like, there is debate to go for Blaze and Destruction. And it looks like they're going for the Budew. Okay, that's fine. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to Adrenal Brain off the Munkidori, put it on the Budew, and then swing into the Budew. That is completely fine with me, Chief. We could actually attack with the Arcanine, which is not a bad idea. We can technically do that now, but for now, I think we just grab a Snorunt. They are going to get potentially attacking with a Dragapult very soon. So we'll evolve into the Hisuian Arcanine. In fact, it is better for the content to do it into it. So we'll do in fact, no, we don't want to Adrenal Brain. Then again, no, it knocks it out regardless, so it's fine. It knocks it out regardless. And then we will Proud Fangs for 30, take it out of the Budew. And there we go. We'll get our own Budew off the prizes. Obviously, once we get Froslass going, that's going to be one of the key parts of our strategy. But obviously, Latias will only take 90 damage from a Latias or a Hisuian Arcanine attack. But yeah, we've started off really poorly, I will say. And it is Dragon Dusk. Okay, this is going to be a problem. The fact that they're playing a Munkidori is already concerning. But still. Let's hope they don't find Hilda Neo Upper. Or Hilda for Neo Upper and Dragapult. That's for sure. Fingers crossed anyway. And obviously we want to start getting damage on their board with Froslass, which is going to be a key part of our strategy. Obviously they can Munkidori some of it back, but obviously they won't be able to control it too much, which is the nice thing. So we can go Artisan for another Snorunt. We can evolve to the Froslass. They are just going to sit behind the Latias, and to be honest, I don't blame them. We couldn't bench the Budew, but I don't think it's worth it. I think we just pass here, because we can't do any damage with Proud Fangs. So we'll just pass. Freezing Shroud kicks in. Obviously, we can Devo as well. That's something we can do, is in this matchup we can use Devo. But Dragapult is a really tough matchup. This is not going to be easy. We can, of course, use Proud Fangs, which is a nice thing. We can use it. But for obvious reasons, it's going to get tough as we go along. But that's why we kind of want to get as much set up as we can. We need multiple Froslass. And of course they find frickin' Hilda. Why would they not find the Hilda? Dusclops Neo Upper, which means they have Dragapult in hand, because of course they do. They're going to devastate the board is what's going to happen here, folks. Because of course Dragapult has everything. Fun. Very balanced format. And Fury Retreat into Dragapult. We can confuse it, but that's about all we can do. And if they pop the Clops and take out the Monkey, this is going to get messy, to say the least. Munkidori is now at 20 damage, or 20 damage taken. You can Curse Blast the Monkey and take out the Monkey. Oh no, he's going for the Froslass. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. He gets to Jamming Tower as well, which is pretty good. That's very good for him. You don't need 6. I mean, you aren't giving me full Monkey, I guess. That's the benefit, but... you know. That's just the way I see it. And we get the Trolley, which is pretty good. Trolley's pretty good here, I must say. So I'd love to attach to the Monkey on the bench, but, well, we literally can't. So we'll just grab you and you. Evolve to the Froslass once again. We'll then Adrenabrain. We'll put it on the Jacq, because at least we're forcing him to do more. And Mind Bend for 60. Confuse the Dragapult. At the very least, if he doesn't move this Dragapult this turn, we can at least Devo it and get rid of that Neo Upper. And obviously, as Froslass damage starts to tick up, that's going to be our important factor here. But no, this is not an easy matchup, and it's not a fun one, to say the least. Obviously, Turo only helps them a little bit, but yeah. Night Stretcher, probably grab at the Duskull. Yep, that's fine. He could risk the Phantom Dive, but if he does, I just Devo here. Which, you know, that would be nice if he does. He could risk the Phantom Dive, take 3 damage counters, and then I Devo. Because I don't have an energy in the bin, but obviously Jamming Tower prevents my Air Balloon from working, so I can retreat the basic Dark Energy. He's retreating the Neo Upper Energy. Oh, I don't agree with that, Chief, but you do you, my friend, I guess. But into the Latias, that feels so bad for him, genuinely. The Munkidori move here doesn't hugely matter. That's not hugely a problem right now. There's another Dragapult. The only way he attacks here is with, like, a Crespin. He's going for a Lillies. That's fine. Okay. We could be okay here. Because, like I say, we can Devo this turn. And really put him behind. And I think we'll do that. So, first of all, let's evolve you. And evolve you. We're then going to retreat with the basic Dark Energy. Into the Munkidori. Night Stretcher back said Dark Energy. I'd love to grab the second Froslass here, but I can't. So we will Adrenabrain. 3 off this Munkidori, and we will plonk it over here. And then we will Adrenabrain again. Put it on his Monkey. Attach the Devo. Oh, yeah, the Jamming Tower. I forgot about that. Hold on. We might have to try and Arven for something. Okay. That's just set my plans back. I forgot I had Jamming Tower down. So that's Arven. Could grab Night Stretcher anyway. It's fine. It's just, you know, this gets a little bit awkward now. Night Stretcher. Grab back the second Froslass, I guess. I forgot about the Jamming Tower, I'll be honest. And for now, we just pass. We need to find a Stadium Bump. That's the main thing. I completely forgot about the Jamming Tower. Genuinely, I forgot about it. You know when you just tunnel vision on a play, you just forget about that card. I mean, the nice thing is Devo doesn't get bumped, because the effect of Devolution is it discards at the end of the turn. So if we can find a Stadium Bump next turn, because obviously we don't play much draw, we could potentially be okay here. There's a Clops. He could Clops this turn. Adrenabrain. Where's he going to put that? Onto the Froslass. He likes the Froslasses for some reason. But obviously that is his one monkey heal, so we could be okay here. There's an Iono. I actually needed that. If he finds the Stadium Bump, he can bump the Jamming Tower before me, which could be an issue. I've just got to kind of hope that he doesn't get the Pult swing, because if he does, we have it bad here. He could Clops the monkey on the bench with the Luminous. He's not going to. That's good. His Munkidori goes down between turns, so we have that advantage. There's an Ultra Ball. That doesn't really help us. Let's just play the Lilies. There's Artisan. So now Devo's still active. So, Adrenabrain. We're going to move 3 off this, and we're going to put it... I'm going to put it on this... Actually, no. We need to put it here. And then Adrenabrain again. Put it on this Pult. And yeah, concession. We turned what was appearing to be a really bad situation into a surprisingly good one. You know? We managed to get the Stadium Bump, which mattered. And then obviously we could go for a Devo, take multiple prizes in that one turn, and then, you know, we'd have the advantage in the late game. So yeah, pretty good run for the Froslass deck there. We did struggle a little bit because of our lack of draw, which, as I said, to fit a 4-4 line can get a bit messy. So, let's go to game 2. And welcome back. That went a little bit better than I expected. I didn't expect to find the Stadium Bump off that Lilies. But it's better than Ionoing for 4, because we could have missed the Stadium Bump. Then obviously move damage around, and then Devo would have been a really nice play. We would have taken 3 prizes that turn, and then all we'd need to do is knock out the Duskull. So that would have been nice. Do we want to go first? No. We'll go second. Still, so far so good. I didn't think this deck would work too well, but... Okay, not a bad start. I'll take the Growlithe start. We can use Blazing Destruction to get rid of a Stadium if it comes to it. Ditto. Okay. We could attach a Luminous here, so we have the option to take down, but I don't think it's hugely going to matter. I suspect this is Terror Box. And straight with the transformative start. Into Fan Rotom. Yeah, this is definitely Terror Box. Which means takedown is no longer a line because this resists fighting. So, triple Hoot Hoots. Oh, I'd love to Iono your hand, mate. I would love to Iono your hand. Area 0 Under Depths. We could Blazing Destruction that, just to add more insult to injury. And just a pass. That's completely fine with me, Chief. Speak of the devil and she shall appear. Okay, so we're going to get a Snorunt down. I will then Ultra Ball away the Luminous and the Dart. We can recover the Dark Energy, so it's not the end of the world. I can grab myself a Munkidori and get a turn attachment in. Attach the Munkidori. Iono. Get them Noctowls out your hand, boy. Okay, that's not bad. So we'll go Nest Ball for another Snorunt. And we will Blazing Destruction, discarding a Stadium in play. Sweet. We'd love to see it. Obviously, if he attacks the Growlithe here, he doesn't knock it out, which is nice. And we can Munkidori some damage off. Nest Ball, probably for a Terror here. Wellspring. Wellspring's going to be an issue, but we can deal with it. Obviously, we only have one copy of Luminous left. Normally, I've actually broken my rule when it comes to Froslass Munkidori decks. I like playing a basic Psychic Energy for Munkidori. Obviously, Luminous is not recoverable, whereas Psychic Energy is. He's going to go into the Wellspring, interestingly. He could attach an energy and start sobbing, but then I just start moving or damage off his board. Or off my board, that is. Ultra Ball, he could grab Crispin plus Crystal here. So he could take out both Growlithe here, which could be a problem. Get rid of Bloodmoon and a Vessel. Okay. He can grab the Noctowl now and get Crispin value. There's the Noctowl. Yeah, this is why we need to get Shaman down, because this card is going to devastate our board. Like, genuinely, it's going to devastate us. It can still knock out the active, but we can at least do something about it. He is going to take 2 prizes here, though, if he has Crispin plus Crystal. But hopefully we have Shaman in deck. I didn't check, to be honest. I forgot to check, to be honest. But fingers crossed, we should be okay. He's trying to think about what to grab. He doesn't have the Crystal. Okay, that's good. There's the Crispin. If he doesn't have Crystal in hand, he's only going to sob, and I'm happy for the sob. The sob is not a problem. Metal Energy, does he have the Crystal in hand? He does. Shit. Okay. That's bad. That's pretty bad for us. Torrential Pump, take out the Growlithe. And what's he going to take out? He's probably going to take out a Monkey. He could take out the other Growlithe, though. And he is. Okay. I get the logic there. I don't think it's correct, but we will gloss over that. Promote the Monkey. And we will draw for turn. There's a Charm, that's going to be useful. I'll play Arven for turn, because I need to get stuff established. I can grab another Charm as well. Trolley, we'll grab ourselves 2 more Growlithes and a Monkey. We can then Charm the other Monkey, Dark Energy in the Monkey, pass. I'm not hugely worried about this situation because he needs back-to-back Crispin, which, yes, this deck does run it, but you're only taking 1 extra prize, and then you give me Monkey Math. Then I can Jacq for 2 Froslass and just start devastating his board. That's the whole idea. We could also retreat into the Hisuian Arcanine if we get a top deck of Switch, which would be nice. He can just sob, but again, sobbing only gets him so far. There's a Research, get rid of a Turbo Boss and an Earthen Vessel. He's playing 2 Vessel, I've just noticed. Interesting. Not very often you see 2 Vessel in a Terror Box list. I don't think it's correct to play 2, you just need 1. You play most of the time Crispin anyway for turn. But still. There's another Noctowl. He can't really do a lot though with this Noctowl. He's already researched. He has, unless he plays Glass Trumpet plus Energy Switch. Glass Trumpet plus Energy Switch would get him another attack. So he could do that. Let's see what he does, because if he doesn't play Glass Trumpet... Oh, he's got the Teal Mask, okay. So he is going to get another Wellspring Ogerpon attack. Unfortunate. But again, this is what happens when you face a Wellspring Ogerpon. And, well, as we saw, Shaman is prized, which is just typical. The matchup where we need it, it is prized. But it's fine. He keeps targeting the Growlithe, though, which is interesting. I don't know why. Genuinely don't see why. There's the Energy Switch. So we can attack again with the Ogerpon. That's fine. I'm happy to let him go ahead on a couple of prizes, because at the end of the day, we have the bear, And the bear can obviously do a lot of work in this matchup. There's the Torrential Pump. What's he going to take out? Probably another Growlithe, because he seems to hate Growlithe. No, Snorunt. That's fine. That is completely fine with me, Chief. We can at least evolve the Hisuian Arcanine now and at least get him protected. And now we can evolve both, so we don't need to Jacq. We can Iono for turn. Well, I was going to Iono for turn anyway, but that's not the point. And we get the Froslass as well. Excellent. So, now we can start Adrenabraiding. So I can take an easy prize on the Fan Rotom here, but I don't think it's correct to do so. I think we need to put pressure on his Wellspring. So we'll do that. Then retreat into an Arcanine. Attach again. Proud Fangs. Proud Fangs for 120. Then Freeze and Shroud can start doing some work. Because then we can kill this with a Munkidori MAF. We can Pokégear to find something, and we can potentially take out Terrapagos with a Counter Catcher. Or a Boss, either or. But now that we've got our board established, the only thing he could attack with the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon's second attack is the Froslass. And if he does that, that's fine, because again, we just go Munkidori move, take out the Wellspring, and potentially find Gus for the Terrapagos. And he can't take 2 prizes in a turn with his Wellspring now. It's impossible. The only way he would is if he Gusts the Munkidori and takes out the Froslass in the same go. That's the only way he takes 2 prizes. But we need to find our Shaman, because then we prevent this sort of thing happening. Nest Ball. He could Sob as well, that is a line. But sobbing doesn't really benefit him. He's going to go for the Fan. Fair enough. Mew's another easy 2-prize liability in this matchup. That is fine. If he finds another Turo, that could set us back quite a bit. It's going into the Fan. Okay, that's fine. I can deal with that. And Assault Landing for 70. That is completely fine with me, Chief. Because my Proud Fangs knocks this out anyway. And a concession. Okay, you didn't need to concede there. You had a huge advantage. Yes, I would have been able to take 3 prizes that turn. But I didn't have my Shaman. So, you know, I didn't have anything to counter another Wellspring. So, you could have won that match, I think, mate. But, hey, if you're going to concede, I'll take it. Maybe he's got a daily to attack for a certain damage number. Anyway, let's go to a game 3. Well, you can now see why I kind of had to put a Shaman in this list, because we just got completely bodied by Wellspring. But thankfully, thanks to the Munkidori Math plus the Proud Fangs, we was able to deal some significant damage to the Wellspring, and we could have set up for a multi-prize turn during that turn. But no, that went pretty okay. I mean, it was a bit squeaky bum time, but that's about anything for a Froslass Munkidori player. You tend to have squeaky bum time. It's why they tend to have less clean underwear after a match, you know? Like I remember meeting a guy who was playing Froslass Munkidori at a League Cup, and he was like, yeah, this deck literally gives you brown pants every time you play it. This is Tinkerton. That's not too bad. We're going first or second? We're going second, good. Because with this starting hand, we need all the help we can get. Buddy Poffin. Obviously, there's not going to be a lot of Froslass opportunities in this matchup. Obviously, it's mainly going to be Munkidoriing onto stuff. But we can still get stuff going. I don't think it's correct to play so many 60 HP Dunsparce, but, well, I'm not my opponent, am I? We're just going to straight away Iono, because our hand is dead. Trolley plus Arcanine in the opening hand is pretty freaking solid. So, we'll grab another Growlithe, because we have one in hand. 2 monkeys. We can grab one left, and we can grab another Growlithe. And we'll attach a basic Dark Energy to the Munkidori, and we will pass. Nice, easy start. We could get 3 down, but that then puts severe pressure on our monkeys, which, as I said, we don't play Turo or Penny. There's the enriching energy. That's good to know. If we top deck Luminous, we can go Arven for Switch and take out the Tinkatink. I don't think it's going to happen, but, you know. There goes one of the duns. The nice thing is obviously we have access to Devo in this matchup, which, given they have 60 HP Pokemon, that's going to be pretty useful for us. They could also collect to draw a card, which would be pretty nice, but if we top deck Luminous, we should be able to Arven for Switch. And then go from there. But hopefully we can get the Froslasses going very soon. Like, obviously, they're not really going to do anything to our opponent's board. That's something to consider. But at the same time, we can at least do something. They're going to go for the Evolution. Okay, that's fine. Buddy Poffin. How many 60 HP Dunsparcers? I don't think it's correct. Pokemon League Headquarters. That doesn't bother us hugely anyway. Yeah, you should have read the card, mate. That's fine. We have the Stadium Bumps. It's not the end of the world. We can evolve one of them to the Hisuian Arcanine. And Iono. Because we play a high count of Iono, that's what's going to help us in this matchup. Ooh, okay. That's pretty good. So we can go Ultra Ball for you and you. We can grab ourselves a Froslass, which we have all 3 in deck nicely. And Concession. Sure, I'll take it. I mean, I don't know why he conceded there, because he's not going to take any damage on any of his board. But hey-ho. At least we got some good games with the Hisuian Arcanine Froslass deck. So, what did I think to the deck? This deck is surprisingly fun. Like, it is very clunky, because obviously we have got a 4-4 line of this Hisuian Arcanine. I do think you could get away with a 3-3 line to obviously give yourself a little bit more wiggle room. Also, I would suggest playing a basic Psychic Energy. I've gone on about this before with Froslass Munkidori decks. I think it's kind of required. Because you don't really search out Luminous Energy, it's one of those things where having the option to do Mind Bend can obviously matter so much. Obviously, as we saw against Dragapult, it didn't hugely matter because we had the Luminous, but the simple fact is we would have been able to search for it using Earthen Vessel. And obviously, unlike Luminous, we can recover basic Psychic Energy. So that's one of the first things I would do to this list, is reduce the Hisuian Arcanine line to a 3-3, put in a basic Psychic Energy, put in a Penny or a Turo. That's the only real things I think this deck needs to change. Other than that, this deck feels pretty okay to play. You know, it's got the lines, it's got the Devo, it's got the single prize attacker that can do 120 most of the time, and even when it can't, it can still deal with a Budew, which is always nice to see. But honestly, I think this deck is well worth playing, and honestly, you should give it a go, to say the least. It's not as good as a regular Froslass Munkidori deck, I don't think anyway, but it is a fun one. Anyway, I'll see you all next time.